This is a 5-watt custom Defender amplifier, guitar amplifier, and I'm going to add a tone stack to it. One of my previous videos I added a master volume so that I could turn down the power amp and turn up the preamp so I'd get preamp distortion at bedroom levels so I don't make the neighbors mad. Here's my potentiometers I'm going to use for the tone stack. And first I had to pick a tone stack, and I like the one from the Fender Twin Reverb. So I was able to find that schematic, and it's up here. That is the tone stack. And here is the schematic for the custom Defender. And let's see, I'm going to grab my mouse so you can see. Okay, follow the arrow. And here is the tone stack. Right here, I'm circling it. For this custom Defender. And up here, this is the tone stack for the Fender Twin Reverb. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it here and here. So it tells me right here C1 and R6. So I'd look on the board. C1 is all the way to the left of the board. So I'll be cutting this. And on the other side of it is R6. That resistor right there. So I'm going to clip that out of the circuit, and then I'm going to put this into the circuit. This will be my tone stack. So let's show you what we're looking at. That symbol right there is a potentiometer. So we got 10K potentiometer, 250K potentiometer, and another 250K potentiometer. We got a resistor here, some capacitors. Let's see, 250 PF, and then 0.1 UF, 0.047 UF. Oh yeah, here's another potentiometer right here. It's a 1 meg potentiometer. So basically this part, let's see, this part will go here, and this part of the circuit will go down here, and this part goes to ground, and I'll just find a grounding spot on the chassis. So to remove it so far, what I did was there's screws that I removed. There's screws along the top, along the side, and there's 2 screws here. Same thing on the other side. And then there's a handle, it pulled off really nicely. And so far I removed these nuts, and it looks like I'll have to remove these screws and remove these wires. It's pretty nice because it actually says down there what color it is. It says output mixer blue, and then this other one says brown, and this is pretty obvious where it came from. And then there's a few screws here I'll undo, and it should come right out. Now, first thing I'm going to do is drain these capacitors right here. And I think there was another one. Yeah, there's a big one over here. That's the first thing you want to do. You want to drain these 5 capacitors. If you do not, you can die. You can risk a serious shock. They hold a lot of voltage. Each one of them holds 500 volts, and this one holds 35 volts. Yeah, you don't want to get shocked with that. All you do to drain these capacitors is touch the positive and negative together with a conductor, preferably a piece of metal, not your finger. Drain it with a resistor. Or you could just connect them basically. You want to connect the positive and negative, and it'll drain it. And then you want to, or it's not a bad idea to check it with a multimeter. Is there anything in there? No. This has been sitting for a while. I'm going to be pulling the circuit at C1 and at R6. I'm just going to remove the edges of them and keep that circuit in there. I'm going to put a switch so I can go back to the original tone stack. Here is C1. And you go on the other side, and I circled it. You want to make sure you get the right one. And then R6 is right there. It's that second resistor. And I circled the wrong one first. I got it now. Hold it there for a minute so you guys can see. Let's see, I got 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the fifth little piece of metal. Let's see. This one, it's like at the joint of this L. So I'm gonna solder this as I pull up here, and I'm gonna put the soldering on this one as I pull up here. Here's the tube right there. So this is connected to the tube, this is connected to the tube. So I'm pulling it off. And I'll put in my new circuit. This capacitor is really close to the circuit board, so I will have to remove both legs. I was hoping I could just remove one to tap into the circuit, but I'll have to move one or both of them and then resolder it back on. And like I said, I'll have a switch so I can use the old tone stack. Get my solder sucker, try to suck the solder up. It always helps to put fresh solder on your iron. And just get something under there. Like that. Now, should be able to pull as I'm warming up with the solder iron. There we go, and it came right out. Look at that. I don't know if you see it right there. soldered in like this. So I'm gonna pull this up. And then solder my wire in there. Solder my other wire in there. And those two wires will come out to my new tone stack, and I'll have it on a switch, which will go back to this and back to this, so I can still have my old tone stack. This is some leftover pickup wire. It actually works quite nice. Got my wires in. I got this roughly set back in place. I'm all set for now, waiting for the parts for my tone stack to come in. And then I will make my tone stack. I have to plug this back in. Never could unplug these things, but I didn't really need to. They're on there tight. So I'll get my tone stack, and these two wires will solder onto my tone stack. And once I confirm that it works, then I will figure out where I'm going to mount my potentiometers. Originally, I was thinking about putting them up here. There's plenty of room for it. But another option, which I think would look a lot nicer, is if I could line them along here. But to do that, I'd have to move this board back, the circuit board. And there's these mounts. I'd have to figure out, I'd have to make new mounts, and I'd have to unsolder this potentiometer, or I guess it's abandoned. If I do want to use the original circuit, the original tone stack circuit, I'll have to unsolder this so it'll mount here. I'll have to pull back the circuit board so I can fit my potentiometers back here. Right now there's not room because of these capacitors. So if I want more potentiometers, then I've got to pull this back.